Hey guys, just finished watching Punisher, Season 2, Episode 13. I just did a video. I have a video with the first episode review, and then this is going to be an entire season review. So this episode was really this season was kind of really interesting. It was really was a fun season. You know, we started off with in Season 2, in Episode 2, we get Billy, we find out that Billy's lost his memory and stuff. We see Annette O'Toole here from Smallville and stuff. She has a somewhat prominent role in the show, and that was really cool. If you don't know who Annette O'Toole is from Smallville, she played Martha Kent on Smallville, and before that she played Lana Lang in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I think she first made her appearance as Lana Lang in Superman 2 when he went back to Smallville for his high school reunion or something like that. So that was really cool. I really liked the way things kind of went down for this show. Like the fight scenes are always really fun. There are some slow moments throughout this season, but it definitely is a fun show to watch. It really was just kind of really fun. Now I would say that this season is like my favorite season of all the Netflix shows and stuff. My favorite season still by far Daredevil season 2, when we first got the introduction to the Punisher and stuff, that with like the hallway scenes and the prison scene in season 2 when he first gets the idea for the skull by having a bad guy kind of or a prison just kind of someone's bloody face on him. That's where he gets the skull idea, and I think that was really cool from season 2. So it's not really on that par. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Netflix season, but I really liked it over a lot more than season 2, than the first season of Punisher. Just because the first season was a little bit more personal and a little bit more slow, and here they didn't waste time building things up. Things went off in the first episode. Things pick up. The fight scenes are always good. It kind of, like I said, Frank Castle, they really nailed the way they got his fight scenes down. Kind of a mixture, like a halfway point between Daredevil, his fight style, and Ben Affleck's Batman's fighting style from Batman v Superman in that classic fight scene when he was trying to take down Lex Luthor's guards to save Martha Kent and stuff. So I think that was really kind of cool, dealing with all that and how things were kind of going was really kind of cool. As things were going down, it was really kind of cool seeing those fight scenes like that. There was a few things throughout this season that kind of was a bit weird. Like there was one scene like a lot of times where Madani, she's a Homeland agent. People are after her, right? Stuff type thing. She has a dangerous line of work, and she doesn't have a peephole on her door. So in order to see whenever someone's at the door, she has to open the door. She has nothing, no peephole or anything like that. Even like something like if we go to Jessica Jones, I forget who it is, Trish Walker and Jessica Jones has like this whole like super door and all that stuff. It doesn't have to be that. She doesn't have to be that paranoid, but it would make sense that someone like Madani would have to have something, even just a little peephole, to see through the door before answering the door every single time someone, knocks at her door. She can't just have nothing there. So that was a bit weird, seeing there and stuff. So I think that was really interesting with that. We see that beginning of episode 4, we find out that Madani had kept the Punisher vest and stuff. So that was really cool, playing with all that. I think it was really cool as how things kind of go out and stuff. So it was really cool seeing different things, seeing recurring characters from the Daredevil shows and stuff, and the other Netflix shows. Those were really cool, seeing those crossover characters. It was fun seeing all this stuff, and I really kind of liked the way kind of things turned around and stuff, and how things kind of went. So I definitely recommend watching this show. So I guess if you don't want to watch too much more, I'll be getting into spoilers at some point, but I think it just really is really cool. I'll be putting up a spoiler warning. When you see my hand up, that'll be a spoiler, and you can maybe continue, just mute it and keep going. But so it really was really cool seeing all the different stuff, all the different recurring characters, seeing as how things kind of go and hit the relationship between Castle and this girl, because this whole show deals with him saving this girl and stuff, and I think that was really cool. And the best part at the end there was they have a Stan Lee tribute, just in memory of Stan Lee and stuff. So I think that was really cool. I'm surprised that I'd like to see these shows. The shows, that's cool, but I wish they would have put up a picture, maybe a picture of him, from back in the day when dealing with the Punisher, or him talking about the Punisher, or I think that would have been interesting during the last credits of the last episode, rather than just words. I think I wanted to put more effort into the paying tribute to Stan Lee and stuff. So I just wish there could have been something there. I understand, he didn't straight up create the Punisher and stuff, but he's such a moving force that hopefully they have something, and maybe they have something really big planned for Avengers Endgame, because they need to have more than just these just these little it's nice to see it, and nice that even the competition is doing that, which I wish they would have done that for the DC movies and stuff. Just put up a memory of Stan Lee from the Distinguished competition, Rip Stan Lee type thing. I think that was kind of cool. I like that. But I think it was really interesting with this show. Getting back to this show was really cool, dealing with all the stuff. So I think it was definitely a fun season. Like I said, it wasn't as slow as the first season. Things kind of picked up a little bit. There were a few times where it's just like, oh, you're looking at your watch and you're just going type thing. And some of the storylines were kind of like, you really don't care too much. I forget who the character guy's name is, but one of the bad guys. Oh, John Pilgrim here. Yeah, let's see on IMDb. His kind of backstory, I don't know if I really cared for it. I like the way his thing has ended and stuff, and I like the fight scenes with him. But just his backstory was just kind of like, I don't really care about it too much. And it was just kind of really, it wasn't interesting to me, that type of backstory. But it was kind of cool. But the moments when the big revelations happened for it, it was like, okay, cool, I like that. Which is kind of the slow build of his character, was kind of just, okay, cool, I get it. Don't need to hang it on just a little bit too much sometimes. But otherwise, it was really kind of a fun season. I really can't wait to see where things go. And I like how they kind of end things for to leave it kind of open for season 3, but not really kind of, but there's not have to be everything kind of tied up in a bow, and he just ends with him being Punisher and ending it. So I think it was the perfect ending for this, since we all know that he is pretty much going to be, it's pretty much going to be canceled, and there's most likely not going to be a season 3. I'd be surprised. If I'm not mistaken, they with the Netflix deals, even when they cancel these characters, they have 2 years after they cancel them before they can bring the characters back. So for Netflix, for Disney streaming to do their Disney Plus to make their own Punisher show, they probably couldn't reuse John Bernthal or anything like that. So that would be disappointing. But maybe because I don't know how they're going to get anyone near the Punisher like this. So, but I don't think they're ever going to do Disney something like this for on the Disney streaming service. I will have to wait and see as to where things go with that. How kind of violent things do they put on there, and where things kind of go with all that. But I think it's really cool seeing as where things go. At the end of the episode, I think we do see the Queen Mansion, the same mansion that was used in Arrow as for the Queen Mansion. I think it was also the same mansion. It looked like it was used for the Luthor Mansion in Smallville. So I think that was a really cool callback, seeing that reoccurring set that just pops up over and over again. So I think it all in all was really cool seeing as to where things kind of go with this. I loved seeing John Bernthal playing the Punisher. I remember I got to see Jerry Conway, the creator of Punisher, at Montreal Comic-Con, just I think the most recent Montreal Comic-Con, and I just got to just ask him so many different questions about this, and he said that, and I asked him, which one was his favorite Punisher of all, and he's like, by far, John Bernthal has nailed it so much. He was his favorite Punisher. He could probably take out all the other Punisher actors, and then he kind of laughed, except for maybe Dolph Lundgren, because that would be an interesting fight to see Dolph Lundgren's Punisher versus which I don't think I've ever really completely watched that movie. Maybe one day I will, but I've watched bits and pieces here on clips on YouTube and stuff. But I think that would be quite interesting to put Dolph Lundgren's Punisher versus John Bernthal's Punisher, since I think it'd just be an interesting fight, just because he looks so rough to John Bernthal, but yet Dolph Lundgren is so tall and so much bigger than him. So I think it'd be a really cool matchup there. I think it'd be really cool, and that would have been interesting to get if we ever did get a season 3, which I would bet money that there probably won't. But if we would have been cool to get Dolph Lundgren as a villain for Punisher. I think that could be really cool, just to see the sheer size, and could have been a great character for Punisher to go up against. So all in all, I really liked this season. It was kind of fun, but like I said, it doesn't top the season 2 of Daredevil, and some of the villains were like okay, but like the John Pilgrim villain here, it really kind of forgetful villain. I don't think I'll really remember these villains, and they're not going to stand out. They do not rival Kingpin or Kilgrave at all. But they were okay at certain points. Some points they kind of dragged on. Billy Russo was definitely the better villain of this season, but he just wasn't enough clearly to keep him as just the main villain throughout the season. He wasn't big enough of a villain, so they had to have this other storyline And I think that was kind of interesting as to how things kind of played out with that other storyline with the shoots and stuff, and seeing Annette O'Toole and stuff back was kind of cool. I was kind of surprised seeing her back in this show. And so I think that was really cool, dealing with all that and dealing with that storyline with the the homophobia and stuff. And I wish they had kind of finished that storyline. I mean, they did very well at the end, but I just wish they kind of had played with it a little bit more, kind of, getting that story out there in the public, just to show them that, it's 2019. It wouldn't have been as bad as they had thought it would have been. I think that would have been kind of interesting for them to kind of, because they gave them the option, spoiler alert, I guess they're going to say big spoiler alert, as if they kind of had this whole kind of option, at the end, to see what it would look like if they had leaked the whole thing out, to show everyone that the news would have been all up in arms about it, but then everything would have calmed down and nothing would have happened, right? I think that could have been an interesting idea to play with that, just to show that, there are small people who don't like it, but, that's such a small population now, and more it's becoming more and more acceptable to be gay, trans, all those different things and all that stuff, and sexual orientation really doesn't matter anymore. And I think that would have been something cool to play with at the end, to give that shock value, kind of like, oh my god, we were wrong the whole time. And then I think that could have been really cool, but they didn't go that route. So I think that's the way I would have done it. But oh well, we'll see. Oh well, maybe next time. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. What do you think about it? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.